Okay, we are back with Mildred Baily and a good friend of mine, Dee Coulter, is here. One of my executive producers. So she's just going to sit in because she doesn't like the way I'm doing the interview. But I don't care. I'm going to do it any way I want to do it because it's my show. This is the Hot Seat Roadshow. I'm Donovan Sadiq, and we're back with Mildred Baily.
Woo!
All right, Millie. To make a long story short, we left off with you about these trucks. So
yes.
What is your idea of dealing with these trucks in Moreno Valley? Because the WLC is approved and you said you want to make this work. But how can a super duper grouper warehouse work if these trucks have nowhere to go? That's like building a house without a foundation. So give us your idea of how you're going to make this work, because if you can't address the truck issue, this is not going to work.
It definitely wouldn't work if I didn't have an idea. But guess what? I have an idling initiative. It's talking about moving these trucks to a truck stop, which is also going to generate revenue and jobs. We just need to get these trucks out of our neighborhoods by the kids in parks and stuff. We don't want these fumes going to our kids. So we need a special area away from the residents. A trucking stop.
Where's that
Where
at?
it's actually ordained for truck stops and business and things like that. Industrial over there by the old 215 frontage road.
Oh, so you're going to move it back into my neighborhood, Edgemont.
And that's what I don't want to. And I don't want to hurt the residents of Edgemont. So we're going to try to. I'm looking for any other area that's already authorized for industrial buildings, because I don't want you guys to get it tough in Edgemont. I don't want to make it tougher.
Okay, but I mean, where else can you put a bunch of trucks? I mean, you're telling us you're moving it back into my neighborhood, which is very unpopular to do that in my neighborhood, and we can't move it by March Air Force Base. There's no places over there. Mm-hmm. So, but I don't want to cut you off, but so far you've got my attention because I am alert that this might be an idea.
This well, we got to find we, not I. Mm-hmm. I want to work together with everyone so we can find a great solution with these trucks. The idling initiative that I have is to make sure that these trucks are up to date, 2010 trucks with low emission, and they need to still be in a different area. They can't park by our homes and in.
Well, why can't Ito have a area in his WLC? As a matter of fact, I got a better question. Why don't we just put it in phase 2 and 3 of Skechers? Why don't we just put it over there? Because he didn't build that.
That was part of my leaving of Highland Fairview.
Mm-hmm.
There was a conflict of interest with that.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't believe in starting projects and starting another one without completing it. We, once elected, we need to hold him accountable to all of these promises. We need to make a truck stop. If there should be a truck stop on that big business park. There should be areas for the trucks to go. But
so you're saying in an area where we have nice homes and high homes, we should put a truck stop in that area?
No, we should put a truck stop actually in the development where he wants to build a WLC. There should be a foundation for truck stops. For if you're going to build a WLC, a World Logistics Center, business park, or whatever you want to call it, needs to have foundation for trucks, since that's what's going to be mainly delivering. He didn't come up with that because he doesn't really.
You could say care.
He doesn't really care about the residents. He cares about the money, and the money is going to come in. With a truck stop, he's not benefiting unless he's going to develop that truck stop.
Right.
So we as a city need to take control and have the ability and all complete control of this truck stop once we find an area to build it on. And this will be completely Moreno Valley's revenue. We're not going to go through a developer and do all that. It's going to be ours where we have our own input on what we want to do.
Right. So basically throw all 14,000 additional trucks a day into the Edgemont area and don't give a damn.
Well, let me ask you this way, Millie. And I know it's kind of a controversial thing as to where the truck stop will go. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you don't want to put it into the 3rd district because it's not zoned for that. It is zoned to go into the Edgemont area, which is next to the freeway. Mm-hmm. Now, when we know about most interstate, when we know about most truck stops, that they are located right next to the interstate. You get off the exit Bama right there. So wouldn't it be feasible, even though it's not a popular thing, wouldn't it be more feasible to have it in Edgemont since Edgemont is next to the interstate?
In my opinion, I think that we should take a vote with the Edgemont residents to see how they feel.
Well, I'm just saying, true.
Well, that definitely is a perfect
it is
place.
good, but just really thinking about the logistics of the
right.
truck stop.
Well, the thing is, why do you have to take a vote of the Edgemont residents? We're part of Moreno Valley, so if I know everybody keeps putting us like we're our own entity, but we're part of Moreno Valley.
Yeah, we are a city. We are connected.
So we're just a neighborhood of. That's why I say the neighborhood of Edgemont. So it's a vote of the Moreno Valley people as a whole.
I think we should take that to a vote as a whole, because I want to know everyone's opinion, not just my district, but the whole city of Moreno Valley. I want to know what they feel about putting a truck stop in that zoned area.
And then let me also just finish my point. Wouldn't it be easier to educate people? I'm not saying that they are ignorant, but wouldn't it be easier to educate people on the logistics of a truck stop and the whole dynamics of trucks? Just from a truck driver's point of view, not that I know a whole lot about trucks.
Don't get me started.
I know that trucks are not designed to go into residential neighborhoods.
Yes. The roads.
Physically speaking of the truck, they can't.
Right.
They
can't turn. They can't.
Right.
Yeah,
turn
maneuver.
stuff. Mm-hmm. So when you talk about put a truck stop into the 3rd district, you know that's not going to happen. It's frustrating for a truck driver to have to maneuver in and out of there. It's a nightmare for everybody involved.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, if it's on the interstate or next to the interstate where it's zoned to be, it's less headache for everybody.
Right.
Except for the Edgemont residents who are closer to that truck stop. That's why I want to make sure we get a vote from all the residents of Moreno Valley. Especially, I care for the residents of Edgemont to see how they feel about putting a truck stop there.
See, wait. I'm going to interrupt. Now, everybody keeps talking about Edgemont like we're our own separate entity. We are not a separate entity. No. So let's stop saying the residents of Edgemont. The residents of the neighborhood of Edgemont, which is still a part of Moreno Valley. So the problem is everybody keeps thinking Edgemont is like its own entity, and that's one thing that really makes us feel bad, because as long as people say, well, that's Edgemont, then we don't get the resources that we're supposed to get. So, I mean, I get kind of offended when we're not included as like part of the city.
See, and I definitely agree with that. Edgemont is a part of our city. That is District 1 now, right. And we need to combine all of our districts and be unified. We need to have more unification with our councilmen and our residents.
Well, I guess just back to my original point, not to to grill you. Would you agree? Let me ask you. I'm not going to tell you. Would you agree that some votes or things that need to take place, or some initiatives that need to take place, is not necessarily up for a vote? I mean, shouldn't we go off of what makes sense, opposed to let's get everybody to agree? Because what if, let's say, Edgemont, the people of Edgemont don't agree that it should go over there, and they agree that it should go over in the 3rd district, and obviously the 3rd. I mean, so
right.
shouldn't things just go by what makes sense?
It definitely should go by what makes sense. I just don't want to upset any residents that are close to this facility, because I don't want to cause any more hassle on anyone.
Right.
The District 1 with Edgemont, they are still connected with our whole city, and I don't want to disconnect or separate you guys.
I think this issue, there's really no winners in it. Like I said, the people of District 3, they're upset that the WLC is built over there. I've always said that the WLC needs to be built by an interstate, as somebody who has logistics background and experience. It should be over here by these people out in the Edgemont neighborhood and put it where it's supposed to be. But the fact of the matter is there's not enough land over here for Edo to control to build a monstrosity like that, plus the truck stop. But again, nobody's going to be happy no matter how you look at it. But
I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
If Edo were to put that WLC in the zoned area,
I would be supporting him 100%. But go ahead.
Would you think that he should buy and pay for everyone's home that needs to be removed?
He would have to. That's the only way he's going to get it. He would have to. But see, he doesn't want to do that.
And I'm seeing that. Like, is that less money?
Yeah, it's less. Well, really, it depending on how you look at it, it might be more money, because if he wants to come buy my house, he would need this space to do so. I mean, I don't want to be greedy, but $3 million, I'm willing to leave. So that's one of the problems of doing that. And we don't do public domain. We could do that as a city, but we don't do it because it's very unpopular. But that's one of the reasons why you wouldn't want to do that. And he owns all that property on the east side. And like I said, it's his property. He can do what he wants. He wants to build something over there. My problem is, why do we have to pay for his property in infrastructure? Speaking of the infrastructure, rumor has it, Chris Baca alleged to it, there's a $700 million infrastructure bill. What is your take on that? This is the same playbook he used for Skechers. He's going to get us to do the Nason Street to make his property value go up. We're looking at $700 million in infrastructure.
My opinion on this is that he planned and built this WLC and laid it out he did not have the intentions to have a truck stop or any area for these trucks to park, which means, in my opinion, that he does not care about the residents. He didn't care about the trucks or how they were going to get there, where were they going.
What were we talking about during the wars? That's what we were saying.
And that's why I did my research and I had to leave Highland Fairview.
Okay.
This doesn't make any sense. Why would you make a WLC without a truck stop first? You need to prepare for this WLC.
But now he wants us
to pay
for the roads, because you're going to need a big road for the trucks to come down there and turn and all that other stuff, and light signals and all this other stuff. $700 million, that's going to make us pay for it.
And I don't agree with that.
But how come that wasn't brought up during the WLC wars?
There was a lot of things that was not transparent. There was a lot of propaganda going on, and a lot of people that, like my opponent Brian Lau, he was approved that on the planning commission.
He sure did. He did say yes, and we're going to see if it's a real project.
And as an engineer, you would think that he would have thought through.
You could be an engineer and be like myself and have 11 degrees and know nothing at all and just be a damn fool.
Because he didn't realize this infrastructure was not wide enough to build.
I don't think he cares. Now, if you've been listening to me during the wars and other people, this thing's going to take over 25 years to build. I will be in my 70s when it's built. Do you think I would give a damn at that time? And the people that are chiming for this project, do you think they're actually going to live here in Moreno Valley in 25 years?
I doubt it.
And that was our whole point of what we were talking about. I mean, I'm glad that you got an enlightenment, but the fact of the matter is a lot of the damage has already been done.
And I want to reverse this damage. I want to let everyone know that propaganda was not true. I want to let everyone know the truth. Okay, I got a question for you right now, since you're going to that. Right now, if you had an opportunity to reverse the WLC decision, what would you do? I would definitely reverse the WLC decision. Why? Because I realize that this developer, is a very money-hungry person. And he's doing things for himself. Well, isn't that what businessmen do? And we don't want that type of businessman in this one. We need new developers who actually care about the residents and want to benefit the residents, not just themselves. I would not have approved this WLC because the infrastructure, the CEQA, they didn't even really, it wasn't done right. It wasn't done correct, and they asked him to redo it again, and he refuses to do so. And they don't want to pay the money, and that's ridiculous to me, because if you really wanted something done correctly, you would have them come redo it. And it doesn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense to me. That's why I had to do my research, and I was starting to think, and I read up on things, and this man has built things but never completed them. He's proposed things. He's proposed a lot of things. Look at Skechers. He didn't complete that. He had to go into a partnership with Skechers to complete the job, and it's still not complete. And the reason is he could afford to do that by himself, but he doesn't want to use all his money. Right. No, he's like Donald Trump. Yes. He wants to use other people's money to make money. That's why he's a businessman. I'm not hating on him. I like the game. But the fact is, we're the one that's suffering. All the residents are suffering because he's getting financial gain, and the councilmen right now are cashing in and rolling out. And it's not fair to the residents who they're supposed to be representing. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Okay, now we're at the second break coming up. Don't forget the news from Edgemont, Sundays at 6 p.m. during the election cycle. We've got a lot of the candidates coming out and going to participate. Unfortunately, Highland Fairview candidates do not want to come or respond to my request to come on the show, but I've got this radio show here, so if you don't want to come out and be on video, I can get you here on the radio show. And for you citizens, if you have something to say and you want to come on the show and say it, hey, this is your opportunity. We can do it right here. No problem at all. If you have animals, please make sure your animal is microchipped and licensed. Yes. And that's a very important thing here in the city. But we're going to go take a break, and we are going to be right back with Mildred Baily, and we're going to get into the nuts and bolts because this is it. Yes. It's coming. Yeah.